Hello everyone, welcome back to another amazing video. Today, let's talk about AlphaFold and some research they've just released. But before we get talking about that, let's actually just kind of go through a basic timeline of what AlphaFold is and what their entire project is made of. So let's talk about the timeline here. So pretty much in 2016, there was AlphaGo, which was a AI that was taught to play the game Go. And they were able to beat one of the top players in the world by playing the game. So then after that, they've kind of, Deepmind, of course, is owned by Google, a UK-based company. They then went on to focus on protein folding after they were able to succeed in the AlphaGo. So in 2018 was the first test of AlphaFold's performance. As you can see here with the graph, compared to other modeling accuracies. Then we can kind of get into 2020. So it was able to find a solution to a 50-year-old grand challenge in biology. And I'll put all the links of the video down in the description so you guys can read through this more and actually watch the video if you would like. But it just kind of shows how quick things have moved for AlphaFold. 2021, putting the power of AlphaFold into the world's hands. They finally released their database and their source code into the public. So you can, even right now, you yourself can go out and play around if you want to play around with some protein structures. And there's a couple other things in here of outcomes. And then the one I really want to talk about is here in 2020. It happened, or it was released July 28th. Is that Deepmind expands the AlphaFold protein structure database from nearly 1 million to over 200 million structures, including predictions for most proteins in Uniport. So what this means is they have pretty much predicted the protein structure of almost every organism that is known to science at the moment, which is, if you just even try to consider that is an amazing feat that we haven't been able to do at all as a human species. And that's all done through deep learning, which is what's kind of the tools behind AlphaFold. So let's actually talk about the news here. So let's go over here. Article, entire protein universe, AI predicts shape of nearly every known protein. So you can see here, from today, determining the 3D shape of almost any protein known to science will be as simple as typing in a Google search. And I highlighted that for a reason, because if you really think of, AI kind of gets a bad rap every so often. They say it is the last greatest invention man will ever create. That which could be true, but there is many things that it's going to help us along the way with. In the end, we'll never know what actually happens. But if you think now, you can just do a Google search or search that database for an organism and see its entire protein structure. Well, it may be predicted, and we'll get into that on their prediction values. It is still an amazing feat for humankind, and it should not be taken lightly. This probably didn't even make it to the headline news, like CNN or Fox or anything like that, because it's too difficult for them to understand. They only want the big headlines of, AI is sentient and is going to destroy us all. But no, they always kind of forget about the good stuff that comes behind AI. Like I said, over 200 million proteins from some 100 million organisms. The 3D shape or structure of a protein is what determines the function of a cell. So if you're not sure what protein is, and I am no biologist or chemist by any means either, so of course, do your own research to get a better understanding. They are considered to be highly accurate predictions. According to EMBL-EBI, Around 35% of the more 114 million predictions are deemed to be highly accurate, which means they are good as experimentally determined structures. Another 45% is considered to be accurate enough for many applications. So that means, well, not all their predictions may be accurate. There is a large amount of them that we would not have been able to do without AlphaFold and its ability to predict those structures. And it gives scientists and biologists and chemists a starting point on how to move forward with some of these things, especially with with drugs and or drug development, with plastic waste. That's been a big thing that's come up as well. There's just so many different things that we can use this data for that will help guide humans to a better future, is really what it comes down to. So that was kind of what I had for that article. One of the thing is their entire database is 23 terabyte. That, which, if you think about it, yes, it does sound like a lot, but it's not that much. I mean, if you have a gig down to download it, it wouldn't take you very long to get it. It was less than a day. I mean, less than probably a couple hours. I'd have to do the math, but it's amazing how all the organisms known to science and the protein structures of those organisms all fit within 23 terabytes. It's just wow. Just sit back and think about that for a little while, because it is something amazing to think about. Now, of course, with every discovery, there's always someone that kind of likes to take a step back, get an idea of what's going on and how big this is to science, get an understanding of that. So that's why I wanted to pull in this article. This article is written by Derek Lowe. He's got a PhD in chemistry. So a lot of this article is very technical when it comes to chemistry, especially wording. So you'll have to bear with me here. But there are a couple of things I wanted to mention. He definitely goes about saying, hey, this is great. He doesn't want to take anything away from the team because they've been doing great work. He just wants to kind of rein back the headlines we've been seeing. A couple of things he states is, even as 10 years ago, we would have sounded like, or it would have sounded like the opening of a science fiction story. So if you really think about that, 10 years ago was not very long, but we wouldn't have been able to do this 10 years ago. That really shows just how fast AI has been developing over the last 10 years. And I'm looking very much forward to what the next 10 years will bring. A couple other things to mention. Some behavior, or some protein behavior, is simply bound or beyond structure, and thus beyond AlphaFold's ability to help. This really narrows down into the, they can predict the protein structure, but there is some things, environment, stuff like that, that can also work into the equation of the protein. And he also goes on to state that what we have are predictions and not real protein structures. There are good predictions and useful ones, but obtaining actual data using X-rays and cryo electron microscopy, using stuff like that, which I have no idea what it is, but I'm sure some of you may, is the only way to know for sure that protein structure is correct and what was predicted is correct. Now, of course, if we have a bigger issue come up in the world where we need to get the protein structure, we'll of course try that, and then use a predictive level to attempt to run tests on. And if it gives us a month in advance compared to what we would have had in the past, you're talking a month's worth of research with the work. It's truly amazing. He also goes on to say that revolutionizing the drug discovery statement has been overblown. There was a lot of headlines saying that this is going to, revolutionize how we create drugs and everything like that, which it might. We just don't know yet. It's like he goes on. He's like, it's all predicted. So until we can confirm that structure or get the best predictions as possible, we are not sure. And there's also many things that go into drug discovery other than the protein structure of the organism itself. One of the last things I want to state, it is very, very rare for the knowledge of a protein structure to be any sorts of rate-limiting step or any sort of rate-limiting step in a drug discovery project. So pretty much that means if you don't know knowing the protein structure does help, but not knowing it doesn't necessarily hinder the drug discovery project. Of course, that's different for whatever you're trying to test on. And like I said, I'm no biologist or chemist, so if you have anybody that knows anything more than that or can correct me, please let me know down in the comments. But other than that, that's really what I wanted to go through today. It's a very, very interesting read. You can go out and check the database yourself if you really want, and if you understand protein structures, I guess you could test if you would like, or download the entire database. But that's all for today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We are a new channel, so subscribing is essential, please. And of course, if you have any questions, comments, please leave them down in the comments. And we'll see you all in the next one.